Welcome to a special episode of Superman in Media, the limited series where I talk about Superman's various roles in TV, movies, and games. This episode will be talking about the new sci-fi network series Krypton. Krypton was developed under Man of Steel writer David S. Goyer and heads 200 years before Krypton's fiery destruction. The series centers around Superman's grandfather, Sigel, who fights for the honor of his family, whose House of El has been shamed and ostracized within the Kryptonian culture. In October 2014, Bleeding Cool reported that David S. Goyer was developing a prequel television series titled Krypton, and 2 months later it was officially confirmed that the series was in development and would air on the Sci-Fi Network. The series was being produced by Goyer and Ian Goldberg, the writer and producer behind shows like Terminator, The Sarah Connor Chronicles, and Once Upon a Time. 2 years later, in May 2016, Sci-Fi ordered a pilot for the series, naming Damien Kindler of Sanctuary and Stargate SG-1 fame as showrunner, with David S. Goyer as co-executive producer. In April 2017, the first teaser for Krypton was released online, and a 2017 release date window was teased. However, in May 2017, Sci-Fi released statements citing a 2018 release date. In September 2016, casting for the show began, with Black Mirror actress Georgina Campbell cast as Lyda Zod, the future mother of Drew Zod. Soon after, Sean Sipos was cast as the space hero Adam Strange, Ian McElhenney as Val-El, Elliot Cowan as Darion Vex, and Cameron Cuff as Sigel, the main character of the series. Arrow's Colin Salmon was later cast as General Drew Zod, who would appear later in the series. Characters such as Hawkwoman were scheduled to appear in the first season as well, but were later removed as the showrunner thought they didn't fit well with the ongoing storylines of the season. Production of the show began in June 2016, and by September, the pilot episode was filmed on location in Serbia by Scottish TV director Cole McCarthy. The show premiered on March 21st, 2018, airing the entire first season's 10 episodes, ending in May. The series currently holds a 61% critic and 80% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, with the critical consensus being the show declines into silliness with a dull narrative that fails to fulfill a promising premise. Metacritic weighed in and scored the show a 53 out of 100, indicating mixed or average reviews. In 2018, DC debuted a reprinted version of John Byrne's series The World of Krypton, in hopes it would help people understand the setting of the show. The comic also came with various promotional materials aimed at explaining the different houses on Krypton and their role in its society and within the show. Decrypting Krypton, an after show airing after the new episode of Krypton, was also produced. Hosted by Matt Hiscox, the show saw various cast members, fans, and producers discuss the episode and the show in depth. Season 1 saw the House of El shamed and stripped of their rank after Val-El, the house's patriarch, was found guilty of treason, having tried to warn the planet's people of a coming danger, the entity known as Brainiac, the Collector of Worlds. Years later, Val-El's grandson, Sigel, now a young man, discovers the truth of his grandfather's search, and with the help of the human time traveler Adam Strange, has to make sure that Brainiac does not attack, as the future depends on it. With the help of Adam, they fight the corrupt government as well as the terrorist cell Black Zero to prove Brainiac is coming and to stop him from bottling the city of Kandor. The season ends with Sigel betrayed by the time-traveling General Zod, forcing him to pull Brainiac into the Phantom Zone to save the planet, thus changing the outcome of the future. The ultimate weapon they planned on using against Brainiac, Doomsday, has also escaped. In May 2018, Krypton was renewed for a second season, keeping all of its main core cast. The show also expanded its cast, adding Emmett J. Scanlon as one of the main season's villains, the intergalactic bounty hunter Lobo. Production on the second season began in October 2018 in Belfast and wrapped in March 2019. On June 12, 2019, the show began its second season, and on that same day, Sci-Fi announced a spin-off show featuring the character of Lobo, which will be produced by Cameron Welsh. My relationship with Krypton has definitely changed since upon first hearing about it. At first I wasn't really interested in it for a number of reasons, the biggest being that David Goyer seemed intent on connecting it up to his Man of Steel movie, and it's obviously no secret that I did not like that movie, and those early DCEU films were pretty awful, so connecting it up to it didn't really sell me on the show. The other reasons I wasn't too interested in it is that if it was to be connected, it would have to include all that weird skull codex test tube baby stuff from Man of Steel, and there actually is some of it in this show, but it's so well fleshed out that I really don't care. It's actually better in the show. They handle it better and how it's part of their culture and community and everything, and they've even added a cloning aspect, or maybe a cloning aspect to it, that its story is still unfolding through season 2 at the moment, but it seems very interesting. The show also being on Sci-Fi didn't inspire confidence in me either, with the channel known for their crappy low-budget TV, movies and shows. A show set on an alien world with ships and aliens and superpowers seemed like it would kind of push them to their limits. I think as of season 2, which is currently airing right now as I record this, it's safe to say that I am very happy that I was wrong about this show. The show is pretty incredible actually. It's got great action, some really quite funny lines in appropriate spots, and boy does it look awesome. The VFX for this show are seriously next level. Like, these are TV effects, but you wouldn't think they are. If you saw like a picture of them, you'd ask, oh, what movie is that from? They are seriously amazing special effects, especially for a network show like on Sci-Fi. Didn't expect it to be this good. The show embraces the comics as well, using pretty much 100% comic accurate takes on the characters. There is some that are taken liberties with, like Jax-Ur has been turned from a man from the comics into a woman and is completely fine. Doesn't change any of the other aspects about the character, it's just the gender swap. Villains especially look 100% comic accurate. Like, Brainiac looks absolutely incredible, and the fact that he's a practical effect makes it all the much better. It's like a guy in a green suit. Looks awesome and plays really well with the other characters. Doomsday as well looks exactly like he does in the comics, and Doomsday was actually a big surprise since I had no idea he was actually going to be in the show. And when I found out about it, I was kind of worried since it was just around the same time we got Batman vs Superman's Doomsday, so I was kind of worried. But then we got a picture of him and we saw him and he looked absolutely amazing, exactly like he does in the comics. Even in the most recent episodes, Lobo looks shot for shot like the comics. It looks absolutely amazing that they managed to adapt something like Lobo, whose design is pretty ridiculous as well. It's like a space biker with a beehive hairdo and weapons and a chain and a bike and everything, and he's perfectly done in this. It's absolutely amazing. Colin Salmon's General Zod is fantastic, and exactly the type of Zod I've actually been wanting to see on screen for a very long time, like since Superman 2 basically. He's cunning, he's intelligent, he's experienced, and you never can be sure whether he's telling the truth or not, but you want to follow him, but then you don't want to follow him. It's really great what they're doing with the character. I'm also interested to see how the show deals with him and Adam Strange specifically, since the show says they're time travelers. They're from the future and they've come back to sort of, Adam Strange is there to help save Superman in his future, while General Zod has seen it as the chance that he can change the future to something that is more suited to him. So it's really great to see that dynamic play out, and I'm interested to see where that's going to go in season 2. The world of Krypton is also really interesting of a world to explore as well, since many of the places in the DC canon are mentioned, but you never see them because obviously the planet has exploded, so you have to have time travel stories or something for it to take place. So not a lot of them are fleshed out, so this show is given the chance to write their own versions of them, as well as maybe even expand on certain aspects of them. Like, I'm looking forward to learning more about Krypton's ecosystem and its varying planets. I'm really hoping we get to see something like Daxam, a neighboring planet or something. Season 2 has introduced its moons and everything, and I think that's really cool, and I'm interested to see whether they also continue the path which season 1 set out, which is explaining the Kryptonian gods or their god Ra and all these sub-gods. I'm very much looking forward to them explaining that culture, since that's a really interesting part of Kryptonian culture for me. Krypton so far hasn't disappointed me, and I'm pretty happy with it. It's really awesome. I look forward to seeing more of the show, as well as the possible spin-off or spin-offs it produces if that Lobo show gets made. That'll be pretty cool. Let me know in the comments what you think of Krypton, what you like, what you dislike, and where you think the show will go from here through season 2. Also, if you would like to see more videos in this series, I'm open to suggestions on what you would like to see be the topic of that video. Thank you for watching. Hey everyone, thanks for watching my newest video. If you enjoyed it, you might also like to check out my other reviews here on my channel. You can also follow me on various social media platforms like Twitter by searching Matt_FOS, or even join the Comic Multiverse Discord server and chat with other comic book fans, including myself and Joel from Cape Joel. Want cheap comics and trades? Head over to the book depository with the link in the description to get the cheapest trades and comics around, along with free shipping anywhere in the world. Until next time, this has been Matt of the Fortress of Solitude. Thank you so much for watching.